How's everybody doing tonight? Excellent. All right, so I'm Justin from G Adventures. Basically, for those of you who may not be as familiar with G Adventures, we are the Great Adventure People. We are a Canadian company. We're based here in Toronto, proudly Canadian. Throughout this presentation, we're going to touch a bit about our brand new partnership that we're all very thrilled about with National Geographic, iconic brand. We are over the moon with the new partnership at G. We're going to talk a bit about a trip to Peru that we've got upcoming with Cruise Holidays. And Peter, our new Peru expert, can definitely give you a hand when it comes to all things Peru. And we're going to talk a bit about our Planetera Foundation as well. It's our own nonprofit that we use as a way to give back to those communities that we travel to. I like to start with this quote: if you reject the food, ignore the customs, fear the religion, and avoid the people, you might better stay at home. We are all about exploring, getting out of your comfort zone, wandering through the bustling markets, eating at local restaurants, and really getting a true and authentic travel experience. So play a quick little video, just to give you an idea into the world of G Adventures.
When G Adventures was established, we were a small, independent company trying to change the way people travel. And for 25 years, we've followed that passion. To get away from big cruise ships and all-inclusive resorts, we introduced small groups to the greatest places on Earth.
Meeting new people and the bonds you form traveling with those people is pretty priceless.
Today, we're the largest independent small group travel company. Our purpose is to help make the world a little more perfect.
What would it take for tourism to be the greatest form of wealth distribution the world's ever seen?
That's our responsibility. Together, we can strengthen local economies, empower communities, and promote understanding. By keeping things local on all our tours, we make every trip count.
The money that you spend in here is really going back into the local economy.
The local money, again, for local food, to keep the money in the communities.
To be able to do something like that stuff gives you goosebumps.
All you have to do is have the time of your life.
So our philosophy at G Adventures, we truly believe that travel has the transformative power to empower local communities, spread wealth, simply by supporting local businesses, staying at locally owned and operated hotels, eating at local restaurants. You know that your money is helping support that local community. We're not your average coach tour. We operate small groups. We're about 10 or 12 people on average, no more than 16. We like to keep the group sizes small. You can wander into a little cafe and not overwhelm the staff with like 50 people jumping off the bus. You can order off the regular menu, not the tourist menu, the typical buffet style, that sort of thing. We just find that with smaller groups, it's a lot easier to handle. You really feel like you're traveling around a group of friends rather than being on a traditional tour. And as I mentioned, our recipe for success is all about keeping it local by staying at locally owned and operated hotels, eating at local restaurants, wandering through local markets. You know that you're getting a real and authentic travel experience, doing as the locals do, and at the end of the day, that your money is helping support those local businesses, and it's not kind of getting leaked back into a Western holding company, that sort of thing. All right, we are all very thrilled, as I mentioned, to we just signed a new partnership with a small company out of the States called National Geographic. This is by far the biggest endeavor we've ever had at G Adventures. We've been in business for 25 years now, and this was a couple years in the making, and we just launched the first trips as of January 5th this year. It's an incredible opportunity for us to reach out to such an amazing market out there of National Geographic followers, whether it be people who read their magazines, follow them online, watch their TV programming, so on and so forth. It's just a huge opportunity for this little adventure operator based in Toronto, right? They came knocking on our door and wanted to work with us. So as I mentioned, we're all quite thrilled with the new partnership. And it just gives us that level of legitimacy and credibility that we've never had before in the 25 years in operations. So I'm going to play a quick little video here, and it gives you an idea into the places that you can explore with National Geographic Journeys or Jeep Ventures.
People are naturally curious. We want to learn what we can about our world. We want the freedom to roam, to meet people from here and here, everywhere really. These encounters are what make our lives better. Imagine a new way to experience the world. One built on meaningful encounters in new places, contact with knowledgeable local guides, and opportunities to forge true human connections. Imagine travel built on exploration, spontaneity, and storytelling, possibility, fun. Imagine changing the world simply by meeting its people. From the iconic organization that's been exploring our planet for over 125 years, and a great adventure travel company that changes lives every moment of every day. Introducing National Geographic Journeys with G Adventures.
So the whole partnership came to be that when they approached us, they wanted to work with an operator that they could supply their travelers with a bit more of an accessible tour. They've got some brands out there right now, their expeditions and their adventures. You can literally like continent hop with their expeditions and a private jet. But your typical traveler doesn't have, either a new down payment for a new house or a 10-day holiday, right? So they came to us, they wanted us to, produce some trips that they could, again, provide to their traveling clients, but at a much more accessible price. So what it is, it's a collection of our comfort trips. So they handpicked about 70 of our comfort tours. Those are all of our upgraded trips. So upgraded accommodations, private transportation, more included activities, higher end meals, and we've amped up a lot of the cultural elements on these trips as well. I should mention that this partnership brings with it, exploration and storytelling. You're going to have some National Geographic supported projects that we're going to actually visit on these trips. You're going to be National Geographic personalities are going to join these trips as well to provide some extra insight into these different places and cultures that you'll be traveling through. So what sets the journeys apart is these are all unique, culturally immersive experiences. National Geographic supported people and projects, as I mentioned. Some of these trips will feature National Geographic personalities, and you'll also visit some of their society projects on the ground. They do a lot of conservation work all over the world, and also a lot of small social enterprise, small businesses for local people. Those will be included in the trips as well. You'll get pre-trip articles and resources from National Geographic. If you book one of these trips, you get some information straight from Nat Geo into your inbox that kind of gives you a brief overview of where you're traveling and the culture and the history, that sort of thing. Also the impact of the National Geographic Society's nonprofit work. That was a big reason why they came to us as well, because we have so much work on the ground with our Planetara Foundation, giving back to local communities. The two companies it was a perfect marriage. Our values as companies align in terms of giving back, exploration, storytelling, and doing it in a responsible and sustainable manner. So we're going to be visiting these projects as part of the tours. And as I mentioned, upgraded accommodations, cozy rides, more inclusion than any other Jeep Ventures travel style. So next year, our new resident Peru expert, Peter, is putting a group together for Peru in 2017. And you might find yourself in this man's shoes.
I'm not a tourist. I don't wear socks with sandals, and I don't consider taking the stairs a hike. I'm here to learn about those who walked this trail before me. I could read about this in guidebooks, or I could just experience it for myself. This isn't about the trail. It's about standing toe-to-toe with your limitations. It's about swallowing your fears and shredding doubt like it's yesterday's newspaper. This is about breathing deep and putting one foot in front of a challenge to discover what I'm made of. There's a whole new me waiting at the top of the mountain, and I can't wait to meet him. This ain't no picnic. You won't find a kickabout here using jumpers for goalposts. But what you will discover will astound you whenever you look in the mirror. This is my planet, and it's worth every step. You really should come see it sometime.
Alright, so this trip is actually scheduled for September of 2017. It's our Explore Machu Picchu trip. From Lima, you fly into Cusco and check out the Sacred Valley. This being a National Geographic journey, we're actually going to visit the Cusco Planetarium, which you're up in the Andes, and you can actually do some stargazing, check out the solar system, that sort of thing, and you'll be joined by a National Geographic personality to kind of walk you through the sights of the universe, that sort of thing. And then you'll check out our Women's Weaving Co-op in the Sacred Valley, which is a very traditional weaving co-op of about 40 women. I'll take a quick little video later on. I don't want to steal my own thunder. Of course, you'll check out Machu Picchu. You can hop on the train and head up to Machu Picchu. It's a fabulous train ride. Basically, Machu Picchu is right where the Andes meet the jungle. So it's a fantastic train ride right along the Urubamba River. Very picturesque. And spend some time exploring Machu Picchu with a local guide who gives you some insight into the Inca culture and the wonders of Machu Picchu. Been there 3 times. Every time the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It's just a really incredible destination. And of course, the friendly people. The food's fantastic in Peru. If you got any seafood fans out there, the best seafood I've ever had in Lima. I tend to think a lot of my stomach when it comes to picking my travel destinations, and it's definitely, gastronomy-wise, it's one of my top 5 for sure. We've also got some extra activities, so you can spend some time in the Amazon jungle. We've got our own eco lodge in the Amazon in Peru, so you can do an extension there. You can head down to Nazca Lines as well if you want to do a small little Cessna ride over the Nazca Lines. You can add that as well. So lots to see and do in Peru. It's not only about Machu Picchu, but of course that is the main highlight. But this trip here, again, September 2017. And last but not least, we've got our Planetara Foundation, very near and dear to our hearts. We are an adventure operator. We rely so heavily on local culture, people, the wildlife, the local environment, that sort of thing. If we do nothing to sustain that, then we really don't have a business at the end of the day. So Planetara is kind of like our watchdog to make sure that we're kind of giving back to the people that give to us when we're traveling. So our passengers get a really unique experience and the locals benefit at the same time. One of the feel-good success stories that you actually visit on this Peru trip is our Women's Weaving Co-op in Sacred Valley. As I mentioned, it's a co-op of about 40 women, and they weave these traditional blankets, scarves, hats, that sort of thing out of alpaca. I always suggest if you're going to Peru, skip the markets in Lima, skip the markets in Cusco. If you're after some alpaca, most of that stuff is like machine made in China. Whereas if you go here, it's the real deal, the real McCoy, hand woven from the alpaca in the Andes. I'm going to play a quick little video, and that gives you some insight into that project.
We think travel is about going places, about departure points and destinations. But this isn't why we go. The stamp in your passport reminds you where you've been, but not why you went. We travel because we're looking for something. Something important. Something meaningful. Something that matters. Traveling takes a lot from us. What we leave behind is worth so much more than what we take away. We travel, not leaving our homes and our families behind, researching for new ones.
So really it's about that line there, creating a sustainable solution through tourism. I'm not going to stand up here and profess that we're going to save the planet, because that would just be a lie. But we're just trying to do our best to be as responsible and sustainable as possible, and ensuring that the local community benefits at the same time that our clients get this really cool and unique experience. I should mention that these National Geographic journeys are very laid-back trips as well. They can be as adventurous or as laid-back as you like. You saw in the video there was some hiking. You don't always have to hike. I've been to Machu Picchu 3 times. I've taken the train all 3 times. There's no shame in taking the train. It's a really great train ride. Don't tell anyone I told you that, but we're supposed to be the adventure guy here. But yeah, it's a fabulous trip, September 2017, and our Planetara Foundation, you'll be visiting some of those projects as well as some Nat Geo projects along the way. Last but not least, we're actually committed to doing another 50 projects in the next 5 years. With Planetara, we've got about 30-odd projects. We want to beef that up to another 50 in the next 5 years by 2020. Essentially, we want, my math's kind of off there. That was from 2015, if you're wondering. So basically, we want, in the end, to have a Planetara-supported project on every G Adventures tour that we operate as a way for us to, create a sustainable solution through tourism, giving back to the locals, so on and so forth. I believe that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. And we'll pass the microphone over to John in a minute. John will be speaking about Windstar cruises. Now Barb in our office, and she's sitting way in the back, she has Peru on her bucket list. But she has sailed on Windstar, and she actually sailed on Windstar in Tahiti. One of the, kind of iconic cruises that you'll want to take in Tahiti if Tahiti is on your bucket list. Just a wonderful destination, and her pictures are amazing. John?